We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty.
But on today's legislation, Senators, it is imperative that we...
Student Congress is modeled after the procedure of floor debate in a legislature, designed to test a student's ability to speak about an issue in both an extemporaneous and impromptu manner, and to reveal that speaker's knowledge of parliamentary procedure. Superior speakers reflect the views of previous speakers. Student Congress makes use of the debate techniques of argumentation, persuasion, and cross-examination. One question per recognition, which means no two-part questions. Bills and resolutions are available before a tournament, which facilitates preparation. Notes and prepared material are allowed in delivering speeches. Speeches should alternate from affirmative to negative positions on the bill or resolution under consideration. You will find these motions in nearly all sessions. Calling the session to order.
Are there any motions on the floor at this time? Representative Yee.
A motion to open Congress.
Is there a second? All those in favor? Motion passes.
Introducing new business.
Are there any other motions at this time? Yee.
A motion to begin debate on same-sex schools.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Calling for previous question.
That was the end of a cycle, technically, so are there any motions on the floor? Yee.
A motion to call previous question.
Call previous question.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Rising to a point of order.
Point of clarification, do attempts on both pro and neg stay separate, or do they stay separate?
Appealing a decision of the chair.
Point of order. I don't wish to challenge this ruling, but do you give preference to yields later on?
That is not a deciding factor, although that does play a small part. I believe that if you have been courteous and if you have yielded, you probably will get it next.
Moving to recess.
Are there any other motions at this time? York.
I move to recess.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
There will be a 15-minute recess.
Adjournment.
Yes, Kirk Giannini.
I move to close Congress.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, unanimous consent, it passes. Adjourned.
Students will also use parliamentary procedure to lay legislation on the table, move to take legislation from the table, or call for a division of the House. Another concern you will have is the judging of Student Congress. What are they looking for? How are they impressed? And how do they make their decisions? Your judge.
How each one of them listened carefully to the senators who had spoken before them and how they were able to weave in the arguments the previous senators had made and then to respond to them.
A good speaker would be very active in the round, continue to ask questions, make very good arguments, and follow up on their arguments instead of just coming up being a one-hit wonder, speak one time, sit down, and just disappear for the rest of the round.
The better speakers would reference a previous senator.
Address those positions, whether it's in agreement with you or absolutely contrary to your position.
As I stated in my cross-examination question to Senator Bigman, the majority of African nations, first of all, do not have fertile soil, and agricultural programs, while beneficial, are by no means enough to sustain any wealthy country.
I wanted people who believed in what they were talking and who were able to convey that to me in a way that was effective.
If someone really shows their personality when they give their speech and they don't just clam up and become this talking head that just looks at their paper, I feel like I'm more connected with them.
He says in his paper, "For God's sake, America, please stop sending us aid. It is destroying our continent." Senators, it is time to listen to the experts who live in Africa. It is time to listen to the truth that top-down aid does not work. It is time to negate this legislation.
What most appeals to me is somebody who's actually very well organized, who's got their points laid out clearly, who's got a good, clean intro.
You need to incorporate rebuttals into your speeches, and I think that's so important. If you just are talking and you're not really engaging with the other people in your Senate or your chamber, then it turns me off as a judge.
But if I'm too concerned on just simply standing up and rebuttaling what other people have said, I haven't established any ground for myself, and I haven't given the judge and the speakers a way to remember me.
It's harder the longer you wait because this is a dialogue, it's a discussion. And if you wait, you have to come in with new material.
Obviously, if you're the first speaker, you have all the fresh information. No one else is going to be able to say anything that you say, so you're going to sound the most persuasive.
15 is an awful lot of speakers to keep track of and to remember their good or bad points.
15, it's really hard to stand out.
Originality is so important. If you don't have that creative
Today's schedule, there will be 3 rounds. The first round will begin at 9 a.m., the second round at 11 a.m., and the final round at 1:15 p.m. You'll be given 3 forms, the first of which is a seating chart. You will get familiar with the names of the students and where they're sitting through the seating chart. But I also want you to notice the 3 boxes. Each of the small boxes for a student represents a speech. You will assign points from 3 to 6 points for each student when they give a speech. Please record each of these points in one of the 3 boxes. You will also record these points on the comment sheet. This comment sheet is meant for students to be able to see the comments from the judge. One of the things I want you to notice is there's points awarded for each speech out of 6. You can also use these comment sheets to help rank students during the round. Don't forget to assign 3 to 6 points per speech on both the seating chart and the comment sheet. The ballot. The ballot is very important. That's where you're going to be ranking the students from 1 through 9. Notice at the bottom of the ballot, you will also choose the best presiding officer. On the left side of the ballot, you will notice a rubric, and it will cover the main areas you're looking for in speakers: delivery, argumentation, clash, knowledge of parliamentary procedure, and questioning. When your ballot is finished, make sure that each of the lines is filled out and that you haven't repeated any of the students' names. Judges should not confer. All decisions should be independent. Avoid moving desks or furniture in classrooms, and please make sure desks are in order before you leave. Once the round is over, we ask that you return your ballots to the judging room. If there is more than one judge in the round, we ask that you please return together to return your ballots. Thank you for judging.
Establish this Constitution for the United States of America. In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers all sat down and wrote a list of principles